Today I'm going to show you how to make an orange bundt cake with a poppy seed filling. On the top is a mouth-watering brown butter glaze. Brown butter, people, brown butter! Hi, I'm Sune and I'm a food geek. Today we're going to be making a wonderful cake. The sponge is moist and has a wonderful fragrance from the oranges. There's a filling made from crushed poppy seeds, and on top is the most intoxicating glaze, a brown butter glaze. I could eat it with a spoon, but I won't, I promise. The combination of these ingredients makes it a really spectacular cake. But fortunately, it's not very hard to make, so let's get started.
The written recipe, the ingredients, and the amounts are linked in the description. First, we start by making the filling. In a small saucepan, combine 80 grams of milk with 50 grams of sugar. That's about a quarter cup of each. Bring to the boil, take it off the heat. Then stir in 15 grams of butter. That's 1 tablespoon. In a spice grinder or a mortar, crush 70 grams of dark poppy seeds. That's a half a cup of dark poppy seeds until it's a moist powder. Furthermore, crush 60 grams of graham crackers. It's about a quarter cup, about 4 crackers. Stir both of those things into the milk and leave the mixture until you need it. Then we need to make the batter. Heat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. That's 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Spray a bundt pan with baking spray or butter it with softened butter. Sift flour into the pan. Make sure you get every nook and cranny or else the cake might stick. Turn the pan upside down and tap it lightly against the counter to remove any excess flour. In a bowl, combine 350 grams of cake flour. That's about 2.5 cups. 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of table salt. Mix it all with a whisk so you're sure it's all completely combined. In the bowl of your stand mix, add 225 grams of cream cheese, that's 8 ounces, 225 grams of butter, that's also 8 ounces, 210 grams of sugar, that's 1 cup of sugar, and 70 grams of brown sugar, that's a half a cup of packed brown sugar. Cream it until it's light and fluffy. Scrape down the sides, add the eggs one at a time, and mix thoroughly between each egg. At this point, I was supposed to add the vanilla extract and the orange zest, but I forgot, so I'll be doing this at a later step. We add the flour in 2 batches, mix about 10 seconds after each addition. At the end, scrape down the sides and mix another 5 seconds. At this point, I'm adding the orange zest and the vanilla extract, and I fold it in ever so gently. You know, life isn't about being perfect. It's about overcoming whatever obstacles you meet along the way. Then pour half of the batter into the pan. Use a wetted spatula to even the top of the dough. Add the poppy seed filling on the top of the dough. You should leave about 2 centimeters room on each side. That's about 3/4 of an inch. I didn't do so well here, but it still turned out to be a nice cake. Then add the rest of the dough on top, then tap the pan against the kitchen counter to remove any air bubbles. Bake for an hour or until a toothpick comes out cleanly when inserted into the middle of the cake. When done, take out of the oven to cool on a wire rack for about 15 minutes in the pan. Once the 15 minutes are up, invert the pan onto the rack and leave to cool completely. Once the cake is cool, you should make the glaze. Put a small saucepan onto medium heat and let it warm up. Then add a tablespoon of dark poppy seeds and toast for 1 minute with constant agitation. You can either stir or use that cool swirly move that I'm doing. Pour the toasted sesame seeds into a small bowl. Put the pan back on the heat and melt 2 ounces of butter, that's 55 grams of butter. Let it brown for 8 to 10 minutes. You should swirl it so it doesn't stick at the bottom and burn, that doesn't taste nice. To a bowl, add 180 grams of confectioner's sugar, that's 1.5 cups. Add a tablespoon of milk, a teaspoon of orange zest, and a tablespoon of orange juice. To that you add the butter, mix until you have a completely homogeneous mixture. Then stir in the toasted poppy seeds. While the mixture is still warm and very fluid, you should pour it over the cake and let it slide down the sides. Let the glaze solidify before you serve the cake. That's it. That's how you make the absolutely most delicious and best bundt cake. No joke.
That's how you make this delicious cake with brown butter glaze. It's not hard at all, and it's gorgeous. Do you want to see? I hope you're gonna try and make this cake. If you post it to Instagram, please tag me so I can see your creation. You can find a link to my Instagram in the description. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss any future videos. See you next week.